Hey, thanks, Scott. Apparently the mic was off. Let's try this again. Hey, Buddy Bob, how you doing?
Good morning. How are we doing this morning?
Buddy Bob's in the studio with us. We're trying to get this whole studio thing worked out, so I got the arm in my face and all that. But
there might be a bug or two.
It's a podcast, so you can look at me with. You guys look at me regularly. We'll have Buddy Bob on there on the camera.
We'll work these things out.
But we were talking about what did you say? I said, "How are you today?"
I said I'm good because the Yankees fell to the Red Sox last night, and we are now up 1-0 in our best of three.
Yeah, 3-game series, right?
Yep.
And the Red Sox. Hey, if you guys don't know, there is quite the rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees ever since they traded
Babe Ruth.
They traded the Sultan of SWAT
Yep.
to the evil empire.
Red Sox were cursed for like 88 years or something, or however long it was.
Yeah, it wasn't until what?
2004.
Right?
Yeah. And then we went on to win in 2007, 2013, and then 2018. So a lifetime of supporting a losing team. And all of a sudden, it was like they turned into the Patriots.
Soon to be 2025.
Well, that's going to be a rough road.
Saying.
It's going to be a rough road this year because there's some teams beyond the Yankees that are going to be tough to beat.
Hey, you never know. You never know what could happen.
You know, we got an ace. And we got some decent pitching, so we'll see what happens.
Let's go over the chat real quick. Say good morning to some of the folks that have taken time out of their morning to join us. Lori Barber is here. Hello, Lori. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. Danny Dizzle, the Fizzler, spectacular supporter, is with us as well. Hi, Danny.
Good morning.
And have you met Buddy Bob? This is Buddy Bob. He's in the studio today. Bobby's one of my dearest, oldest, nearest, and dearest friends ever, and he's with us. Josie Ann is with us as well. Guys, really quick, don't forget to hit that like button while you're here. Helps us out. One of my favorite people on the planet, Cheryl from Cruising is Fun Anytime. She is my. We are connected. Our souls are connected with Cheryl. She is one of the happiest, brightest people I've ever met, and I just love her. Her and Jeremy both. So thank you guys for joining us. Scott from Controversial Cruising is here as well. Part of the Cup of Joe morning crew. It's good to see you, Scott. Thanks for coming in. Linda Toman Creates is here as well. Linda will be live right after this show with Denise from Bone Tired Travelers. They're going to be do their bull crafting at 1 Eastern Standard Time. So we'll go over there and we'll check them out after. Everybody's saying, you're muted. No sound. No sound. Yeah, well, we're working the bugs out. Trying to get this whole camera thing going, but I needed to get a camera so at least you could see us on the camera. We're going to, over time, we'll work this out. Because now that I can be around people, Buddy Bob will be here in the studio with me. So
very exciting. We'll
get it figured out. Yes, we are connected and still winning. You bet you sure. We sure are. We're winning every day and we're still winning. So here we are, episode 9. Can you believe it? I didn't think when we'd start this.
We've been having fun.
Right? It's
good. It's been flying. It's been a blast so far.
Yeah, we've had a couple good guests so far. We had Adam on a couple weeks ago. Adam from
the great Adam Ezra.
Yep, from Adam Ezra Group. And then last week, a personal friend of both Bobby and mine, Jimmy Garrity, who he's an interesting character, isn't he?
Yeah. Mayor McCheese.
Yeah.
I always used to call him. And
yeah.
I think if you brought Mayor McCheese to life, that's what he would be. Jimmy Garrity.
Right. Yeah, he is. He's always making friends. He's the life of the party. And Cheryl, you see the cup I'm drinking out of? Dallas. She lives in Dallas.
Nice. Nice. Have you been there?
I've never been to Dallas. No, have you?
Just the airport.
Yeah, no, I've never been. I don't think I've ever been to Texas. I would like to someday. I'd like to go to Austin.
I'd like to do like a barbecue tour.
A barbecue tour?
Yeah. Get your brisket belly ready and go from east to west eating brisket.
Isn't Austin famous for barbecue?
Like Texas is weird because it's like north, south, and east and west.
Right.
And it's such a big state that they have like it varies. But I believe the East Texas barbecue is like salt and pepper.
That's it.
That's it. Salt and pepper.
Nothing else. No cayenne. No.
Any sauce that's on the side.
Uh,
That's, I think, East Texas. But and somebody can correct me, but I think there's several different types of barbecue if you live in Texas.
I personally like to rub my butt. You know, my pork butt or my ribs. I like a good dry rub, a dry rub more than just salt and pepper. Maybe some cumin and a little cayenne
you
pepper.
Get like some type of a pork rub that's got your basic spices in it. And
yeah, SPG plus some cumin or something on it.
You know, paprika maybe, or, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, the usual suspects. And
Dallas Cowboys are bad. New York Giants are going to be great one day. I always liked the Giants.
We'll see.
Patriots, they crushed on Sunday.
Yeah, they overcame a really bad game. The 2 weeks ago, they had like 5 fumbles or something ridiculous, and they should have won. It was like the other team was trying to let the Patriots win the game, but they weren't having it.
Right.
But this week they played much, much better. And when he's a second-year quarterback, Drake May, and he's the guy. He's going to be the guy. He's really good. He's under pressure to perform better than last year. So these things are going to happen, mistakes, bad games. He's going to lay an egg.
Right.
Tom Brady didn't lay too many eggs, but he did lay them now and then.
The GOAT, Tom Brady. We were very lucky to have him for all of those years. It started out as a puppy. He honestly wasn't that good.
He was a 6th round draft pick, number 100 something, right?
Yep. And look where he ended up.
He just showed everybody that what's important at the quarterback position is somebody that can think under pressure. And of course, perform under pressure, but to be able to think clearly in a very stressful situation. And that's a lot of these guys that come up in the draft that are really, really good athletes. They have to develop the mindset. Because you see some of these rookies, especially a quarterback, they go out there in the NFL, they get hit once and they get up and you can see it in their face.
Yeah, they got that glazed look, like the deer in the headlight look.
Right. So that's like probably the hardest part of the position. Anybody that's there to be drafted available, they obviously have skill. But do you have the Peyton Manning? Probably. I mean, the argument goes on because Tom Brady has so much more hardware and so many more rings than Peyton Manning. But if you watch highlights of Peyton Manning, do you know, a lot of people don't know this. Peyton Manning, halfway into his rookie season, so like 6 games in or 7 games into the season, he started calling the plays and he continued to call the plays for the rest of his career. The offensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts didn't call any plays. Peyton Manning called his own plays.
Peyton Manning put a guy out of work.
Well, yeah.
Basically.
And he put some defenders out of work too.
Yeah.
But and I think Tom Brady came into the league and he saw what Peyton Manning was. And he said, that's the way to approach the game. And from a mental standpoint, as opposed to,
Well, and I would think if you're calling your own plays versus having somebody, read it to you in your earpiece, I think it's more of a mental thing, a better mental thing, because he's thinking about the play and what will work here instead of he's not inside the coach's head.
Right.
When the coach is, all right, we're going to try the snap left red, number 7 play or whatever they call them. He's thinking up on his own, and I think it's probably a better mental.
I think that he's in charge, the quarterback. So to be totally in charge and to take that on, because remember now, if you're calling the plays and you're the quarterback and the play doesn't work, well, now you're the one that has to answer for it,
right?
Instead of the offensive coordinator. So
right.
You have to answer for your play selection as well as how well you play. So that's why you don't see it in the NFL. And, probably be a while before you see it again. And Tom Brady always had somebody calling in plays, but he would always, I heard him say that he would have 2 plays in his head in case he got to the line of scrimmage, and what he saw told him, don't run that play.
Right. And they gave him the latitude in order to be able to change.
He was able to listen, when you've got all those Super Bowl rings and the MVPs and all those records.
6, right? 6 Super Bowl rings?
7,
but 6 with the Patriots.
Counting the Tampa Bay ring.
Yeah. 6 with the Patriots.
And if he wasn't already the GOAT when he left the Patriots, to go to another team and win the Super Bowl in your first year with that team. And he built the team also. He went to Tampa Bay and he said, all right, go out and get me this guy, get me this guy, go out and get Antonio Brown, and go out and get this guy. And Gronkowski, not Gronkowski, the receivers he brought in, anyway, every one of those receivers caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. All the guys he brought in.
Right.
And they all played great. And so it just that, if he wasn't already the GOAT, that made him the GOAT.
Didn't he just buy into a team?
He's a minor owner with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders, that's right.
And I guess there's some controversy because he's a commentator for Fox.
What is that?
He goes into certain team meetings and they don't want him
talking about things. Well,
during the
hopefully he doesn't
do with the Raiders. So, well, I'm sure he won't.
Yeah, hopefully he won't do it. But
I think it's a case of people trying to make a story where there really isn't one.
Buddy Bob is he knows a lot about sports. If anybody has any questions, anything you think of when it comes to sports, Buddy Bob is your guy. I'll tell you that right now. He knows. He could be on ESPN. I think he could. I think they should hire you.
I don't think I look right.
You could be a color guy.
Yeah.
Not colored guy,
No.
but a color guy.
No, he'd be the next Johnny Most.
Yeah, then Havlicek stole the ball. Then it's Johnny Most. Hey, I have to compliment you on your shirt today. That paisley shirt you're wearing. It's quite sporting.
I like paisley.
Yeah, me too.
It's like a shirt made out of a black bandana.
I love it. It looks great. You're looking dapper today.
There you go.
And it's good to finally have you in the studio with me versus.
And it's good to be here, face to face.
Right. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I missed that personal interaction, so to speak.
Well, not just in addition to what you've been going through, the last month or so, I've been dealing with a back condition. So I was stuck for 2 weeks on my back, looking up at ceilings.
Yeah.
And so it's just nice to not be that.
Right. Yeah. It's good to be out without the back issue, but I like it. Cheryl agrees with you that Peyton Manning had the mindset to be the QB for sure. So today, we always try to pick some kind of topic to talk about. Again, this Practical Nonsense. You're tuned to us every Wednesday at 11 a.m. on the Uncle Scugga Radio Network. And we wanted to make this podcast so it's not, we don't get pigeonholed into a certain genre or because it is nonsense.
Nonsense is a very wide subject.
And
there's so many things that are considered nonsense.
And it's a good thing we're not drinking, because we certainly would. There'd be plenty of nonsense. I want to do a night show when I can start to drink again. I would like to do a night show.
Yeah, cocktail hour.
Yeah, and then we can sit here and we can sip whiskeys and
beverage.
Yeah, and a cigar even.
Oh.
Now we're talking. You guys want to hear a show? Get Buddy Bob and I with a bottle behind us.
Yeah, if we were doing this podcast 30 years ago, we'd probably get thrown off YouTube, but it would be really, people would love to see it.
Right? But anyway, there'll be many tangents, we'll get on many tangents, but we picked a subject for today, and it's the Shroud of Turin.
Yes.
And for those of you guys that aren't familiar, well, I can't say it better than an expert in the field. I wanted to show a little bit of a video. There's this doctor out there, PhD, real smart guy, and I think he's a pastor. He could be a pastor as well. I know he does sermons and that. But this guy, he's probably, if not the number one expert on the Shroud, he's definitely in the top 3 of people who know.
He spent years, so I mean, there's not much about the Shroud that he doesn't know. Right.
His name's Dr. Jeremiah Johnson, not to be confused with liver eating Johnson, who was that was a real guy that Robert Redford played, Jeremiah Johnson.
I was going to say, Robert Redford just died. Wasn't he Jeremiah Johnson in the movie?
He played the character Liver Eating Johnson, who was a real guy.
He ate liver.
He ate Indians' livers. So he, if you know the story, I guess, the Indians killed his wife and stuff, and he kind of made him a little vengeful. And
so he decided liver was the way to go.
He would kill certain Crow Indians and then eat their liver, and that was like sending a message to the rest of them that this guy's a little he's a little 5150. He's a little crazy. He's a little loony.
So there's your first tangent, if anybody is
right.
And anybody's keeping time on this.
Hey, Liver Eating Johnson.
Right. Fill out your scorecard appropriately. There was our first.
But I wanted to show this video so that you can kind of get an idea of what the Shroud is. And so hopefully I'm not going to get smashed with a copyright. I think this is fair use because we're talking about the Shroud today. So let's watch a little bit of this.
What's the Shroud of Turin?
The Shroud of Turin is believed to be the actual burial cloth of Jesus of Nazareth. It's a very unique artifact because we get in this singular artifact the death, burial, and resurrection of the historical Jesus, and no other artifact does that.
What is a burial cloth?
Right. A shroud, which is mentioned in all 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, is simply burial clothes. It's a linen garment that a corpse is wrapped in. And in a Jewish tradition, similar to a pita, how a pita, if you get a pita,
like pita bread?
Yeah, literally. It just wraps from over your feet, over the head, and then back around the front of the feet as well. And that is laid, that's when the body is laid to rest within the burial shroud. That's a shroud.
A real quick
introduction
exactly of what the Shroud of Turin is. And most people, I think, are familiar with it. It's got that image in it, which is crazy. When years ago, I first was introduced to that. Hard to know what to believe because, Jesus, after the crucifixion, he rose from the dead. And some people think and I think Dr. Johnson would agree that the image in that was forever what's bonded with that cloth when he rose through it, the power of the light, so to speak, when he was brought back to life, put his image in the shroud.
So it's been scrutinized and studied over 260 times by all different kinds of experts. And they discovered that the cloth itself, the weave of the cloth, how the cloth was made, fits the time period in which Jesus was alive.
Right. It's important to know that it's made of linen.
Right.
That's important fact. It's not cotton. It's not any type of material made. Linen, which is made from, I think, flax. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Or is it cotton too? I don't
No,
know.
it's not cotton.
Okay.
It's not cotton at all. And that's important because there wasn't cotton back then.
Okay. There you go. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe that anyway. But
What scientists generally can't agree on is how the image got there. And basically, the idea is it was light.
right,
It was like an atomic event, but without the heat, because the heat would have destroyed the cloth quickly. And if you think back to Hiroshima, when we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, I'm sure you've seen the images of the shadows of people on concrete.
right,
That people that were there, they were completely consumed, but their imprint was left on the. So it's that idea, except for there's no heat. So it's like I think I had written down 80,000 watts. It was just insane how much light it would take.
that's a good analogy too. Talking about Hiroshima.
6 to 8 billion watts to produce the image on the shroud.
But no heat. It didn't burn it.
No. So almost like imagine a copy machine when the thing comes over and you see the flash of light, and then the paper comes out with the image on it. It's almost like
Right.
that. But it would have to be a copy machine that produced 6 to 8 billion watts of light.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
You imagine looking at the light bulb and it says 8 billion watts.
Right? Hey, 1 billion watts.
Don't turn that switch on. Whatever
Right?
you do.
Hey, how come this switch over here says "do not turn on"?
And the other thing I noticed is the image on the cloth really wasn't visible until they took a picture of it. And then, because if you see the cloth with your naked eye, you don't really see. You see,
You
it 'cause
can
know
see
it's
it.
there.
So that's how the cloth looks as you would look at it. Now, this is the front and the back. So if you kind of split it down the middle and you look to the left, this would be the front of the person. I want to be careful and not call him Jesus, because it hasn't been proven, but for us that are spiritual, I believe it to be. But it's a man that was crucified,
Mhm.
and the blood stains on it, and the wounds on the body are consistent with somebody who was crucified. So this person was crucified.
And scourged. So the scourging marks, remember he was beaten with whips, and the whips had like bone embedded into the end of them.
So if you look at the right side on the back, you could see now the big images you see of the big orange spots, that's damage from a fire.
Correct.
We'll get to that in a minute. But if you look at the body, you could see that he was flogged. This person was beat, and you could see on his head, consistent with like a thorn of crowns on his head. And you wouldn't see that. I don't believe you would see that type of wound on every person they crucified, especially the head.
No, I don't believe so. Now the other thing is that they could tell from the scourging, the whipping in a way, he had massive blood loss. So
Right.
because of that, that explains why he couldn't place the cross himself, because he was too weak from blood loss.
Right.
And that kind of confirms it. So that all four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, mention a burial cloth or a shroud.
Right. They do. The four Gospels do. If you want, you can go to YouTube and you can look up Dr. Jeremiah Johnson. And he's been on with, as you just saw with Tucker Carlson, he's been on with Glenn Beck. And Joe Rogan, he was on. He's the expert. The guy is unbelievable. You know, this picture you're looking at right now,
So whenever they first were able to take photographs of it, that's when they discovered this sort of X-ray image that's there.
it's basically a kind of negative, I
Right.
guess.
Right, like a photo negative.
It was taken, and I don't want to get the year right. I'm looking it up, but the first photograph of the shroud, which is the one we're looking at, it was taken in 1898 by an Italian lawyer, and he was an amateur, this guy. So he's just some guy, and he went, oh, I want to take some pictures of it, because they were allowing the public at the time, which you can't just go see this thing.
Yeah.
Every now and then they'll allow people to come and see it. But this guy named Secondo Pia, during an exhibition in 1898, he was allowed to take a picture of it. Now think about the photographic equipment they had back then. You know, it was the old, okay, taking the lens cap off and hold still, you know, and poof with the
Powder.
the powder on the thing, and when he went to develop the photograph, this is what it looked like, and you can actually see the image of this person, this man, on the shroud. So we go back to this picture. You can kind of see it, sort of. You see the outline in that. But then he took the photograph, and then you can really see this person, along with his fingers and the wounds on his wrists, wounds on his arms. It's crazy. And that was really when things started to really take off in terms of them starting to, I think, scientifically look at this thing.
Right.
He nearly fainted, it says, in the darkroom when he developed the glass plate negative. Instead of a vague cloth image, he saw a clear face, lifelike face staring back at him. So when he revealed it, it does look like a negative, like a photographic negative. The light and the dark areas are reversed. Most people thought the shroud looked faint and unimpressive. His discovery electrified the world and sparked intense scientific and religious debate. Yeah, so there you go.
As it does today.
Right? So, like I was saying, so those real, like either side of the body, you see those white marks? That's damage from a fire. I think it was in 15 something. I got the 1532. It was damaged, and those are burn holes. And what they did was they patched them with. So remember, I said it's important that it's made of linen.
Right.
But what did they patch it with?
Cotton.
Cotton. So they did a what do you call it? Carbon dating, and
On the cotton.
well,
From the repair.
right. So obviously the church, you know, they didn't want them to damage it anymore, so they allowed them to take just a little tiny piece of it to do their carbon dating. Well, what piece did they take? They took the cotton.
Mm.
So the fire was in 1500, and what do you think the carbon dating, what year it showed? It was right around, well, the radiocarbon says somewhere between 1260 and 1390 AD. But it was the cotton, and that has a window of error too in it when they do copper dating. So you would think that they would have checked the linen, and they have since then, apparently, according to Jeremiah Johnson, and it dates exactly back to the time of Jesus.
They also found pollen
That's
on the cloth, and the pollen goes back to Judea, first century.
Can you imagine? So the more that they study it and they actually use scientific technique and they're not just willy-nilling it and that, the cloth does, it's proven now that it dates back to the time of Jesus.
Right.
And the pollen in it as well is another.
And they can't explain. I mean, the 500-pound gorilla in the room is that nobody can agree on how the image got there. Like, there's nobody said, here's what I think it happened this way, and everybody agrees with them. No, it's just not like that. Nobody can agree on how the image got there. What they can agree on is 60 to 80 billion watts of light.
Right. Light.
How is that possible? How is that at all possible, that much?
Well, even back, I mean, obviously back then that there was light, there was the sun, and there were oil lamps. They didn't even have candles back then.
Right. I heard somebody say it would take a football field full of spotlights.
Can you imagine? What is it? 6 to 8
60
billion?
to 80 billion watts.
60 to 80 billion.
Oh, I'm sorry. 6 to 8 billion. I don't know why I said 6
And
to 8. 6 to 8
you
billion.
use the analogy of like the bomb in Hiroshima. If you see, there's still the outline on some walls there that survived the blast of people that were there that got vaporized,
Right.
and their images from that bright light put their image on the wall.
Or on the sidewalk.
Right.
Yep.
So
an atomic event,
right.
except for no heat.
It's almost like the transporter in Star Trek, beam me up kind of a thing. Instead of beam me up, it was beam me through, and now I'm alive again.
Yeah, I mean, this
Kind of like Lazarus in a way. Because,
get up.
yep, come on out, get up. You're awake now. Let's roll the rock out of the way, and you're coming out.
Get up, Lazarus. Break soul. Yeah, I think it fits the story. It fits in with the Gospels. There's nothing that you can pull from the Bible that would discount that.
Right?
Right? There's
And Linda says like an X-ray machine. Exactly. That's another good example, Linda. That's a good one, like an X-ray machine.
They have X-rayed this, and they've put it under microscopes. And one interesting thing we were talking about earlier that they discovered was, at the time of Jesus, the coins, the money, the coins that they used had King Tiberius's face on them.
If you look at the eyes of this image on the right, you can see the coins. There's one there, and there's one here.
Under a microscope, they say you can see Tiberius's head on the coin. Now, to me, that's just like,
That's an X-ray or
Right.
like a photograph kind of a thing.
right.
I know that when they first started, they're like, oh, well, it's paint. And there's no paint on it. They've done the studies. There's no paint.
But they
And-
also,
Well, going back to the coins. So if this was a fake from the 1500s or the 1300s, do you think somebody would have thought of that, number one? Or would they have gone to so much detail?
right.
First of all, how did they fake it? There's no paint. There's no pigment.
But I guess, so the other thing, on the other side of the coin, I guess there's no DNA on the shroud.
There is blood, but they can't get any
but they
DNA
can't get
from
any
the blood.
out of it, which is odd to me.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I don't know. That's a good thing to bring up, but right now, the way the climate is, and especially right now in recent events, there's a lot of people turning to Christianity or they're going to church to check it out. And I mean, I've seen a lot of videos online of people that they've decided, well, I'm going to leave this Democratic Party and I'm going to church. And I don't think it's millions of people, but there's a lot of people. I think that people being able to see the life that Charlie Kirk led and how he put Jesus first in everything that he did.
Right.
I think people are going, wow, he had something. I don't know what it was, but there was something about that guy.
Right.
I'm going to go to church and check this out and see if there's anything there.
I think there's certain people, again, and not to be all get too spiritual or too religious or anything, but I think for those people that do believe in God, he picks certain people in different ages. I mean, ages in different, like now and in the 60s and in the 1800s. I guess the only way I can describe it or give an example, it's almost like they're apostles in a way. They've been chosen and been given a task. Like
Yes.
Charlie Kirk, I think, was given a task. Now, why he was taken so early in his life, 31 years old, it's hard to say. But Linda mentioned that the detail in the face. If you compare it to modern Armenian priests, Mari, they resemble so much like it's like, whoa, right? And there's another picture we have here too of this is
the AI picture.
Yeah, this is a picture that they fed the information into AI, and that's what AI said that the man that is in the image on the shroud would look like. And that's just,
I mean,
holy crap.
he looks like the image that we've always had in our head.
Right.
He's a slender, whitish man with straight hair and a beard.
I mean, isn't that the image of Jesus? Like you said, we've all had it.
Right. So all those paintings in churches and all the things that you've seen that depict Jesus, they've been a somewhat accurate depiction.
It looks like Russell Brand, she said. Kinda. I think it looks more like Jonathan Romy, who plays Jesus in The Chosen. He's a very good depiction of Jesus. He kind of looks like him. So does Adam, in a way. But
yeah,
can you imagine? We could be looking at the face of Jesus Christ right there, or another guy that lived 2,000 years ago. Hard to say. Now, believers would say, no, that's Jesus.
It's part of, I mean, the shroud fits in with the narrative. And that's important it's important to remember that because like I said, none of the four gospels contradict each other in any way.
No.
They were written at different times, but none of them contradict each other. And this fits the narrative. There's no contradictions in that. So
it's very intriguing. Linda says, do you find it funny that these images resemble people who are spreading the word? I know I'm reaching to some folks, but are preaching to some folks, but it really does. I've told the story about myself just this year. Bobby knows. Bobby's been a spiritual guy for a very, very long time, and I never was. I guess if you were to describe me, you would describe me as an agnostic. I never really You know, I believed in something. You know, we were
if it-
put here by somebody.
If I'm generally a good person,
Yeah. And
everything will work out for me in the end.
yeah, but in terms of, you know, the creation of man and the creation of the planet and all of that, I believed in something. Again, I don't want to get too crazy talking about aliens and that, but I think at certain times of a person's life, and it may never happen in their lifetime. I hope it does, but I had a revelation, and I certainly believe in God, and I believe in Jesus Christ now. And Jimmy Garrity, of all people, he said it best to me. You know, God's always been knocking at my door my whole life. And it wasn't until recent time that I chose to answer the door. I didn't even know I answered the door. The door opened up.
Yeah.
I unlocked it, I guess. And I don't want to get too deep into religion and faith in that because we're not that kind of show. But I just think there's times in people's life when you'll figure it out.
So Jesus, he stands at the door of your life and knocks. And anyone who answers, he will come in and eat with them as friends.
Right.
So it's that simple, but it's so simple that it's easy to discount.
Right.
And so, you know, I see so many videos, and I've talked to people personally that have had things happen to them that there's no explanation for. But they prayed for certain things, and then God answered their prayers, you know, and they don't, you know, they sit there and they go, wow, there's no other explanation for this, why this happened in my life, except for God was there and made this happen for me.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of examples of that.
I think the more that I look back, you know, I can only look back on my life. You know, it's you got to search within yourself in that. And
yeah,
for me, I think that God uses us. You know, we talked about it a minute ago. I believe that He chose Charlie Kirk, and He chooses others like, you know, I don't know, like Mother Teresa and people like that. He picks them to be able to put them on a mission of either spreading the word,
right,
or spreading the gospel, or taking care of, like Mother Teresa was all about the kids, you know, taking care of the kids and the poor kids. And growing up, you know, so I know I'm going around the bush, sort of, but as a kid, you know, you want to be a cowboy, and then you want to be an astronaut, and then you're going to do something else. I never really wanted to really choose the profession that I'm in. I'm in the fire service, right? I never dreamed of, like some kids do. That's all they wanted to do.
I'm going to be a fireman.
And that wasn't me. I was going to weld, or I was going to do something that was just easy. You know, pick something easy to make money at. And
there you go.
but for some reason, I stumbled on the fire service. Now, as you know, the fire service encompasses a lot, but it's all about helping people. It's all about helping people. There's not one aspect of my chosen profession that isn't about helping people.
Right.
And I know now that I was picked to do that, because it's not for everybody.
Nope, it surely is not.
It's like our friend Denise, who's a nurse. I don't know. Denise isn't here for me to ask, but I don't know if she dreamt of being a nurse her whole life.
Yep.
But she's certainly in the people helping business and helping sick and downtrodden people.
Yeah.
I just think that whether you know it or not, you get chosen to do these things.
Right.
I mean, look at you. So you work in a church,
Right. I work in a synagogue.
right? And you're not a Jew.
No.
No?
I'm a Christian working in a building full of Jewish people. And it's been one of the best experiences of my life. It's made me a better Christian,
Right?
I think.
She does, right? She does. Talking about Denise, our friend Denise. But yeah, that's, and you've had a lot of jobs, buddy. Not a lot. You've had a few jobs
Yeah.
over the years, just like a lot of us. You sold cars and
Yeah.
you,
Worked in a lumber yard.
yeah,
I worked in a dental lab.
you did. You made teeth.
Yeah.
That's kind of helping people in a way.
Oh yeah. But
Try biting an apple with a gum.
I went from a situation where I got out of bed every morning not wanting to go to work.
Right?
Because some of the people where I worked just made it hard and made it so you didn't enjoy your work as much as you would. So that was a tough situation. So I left there and I went to work at the synagogue and started out at considerably less money. And that was a concern. But after I'd been there just a short time, the way I was being treated by these people, the way they embraced me, they took me in like I was part of the family.
Right.
That was worth, I don't know how much dollars an hour that's worth, but it's a lot. It really is. It's because if you work and do your job and you're not stressed and you don't have anxiety about it and you're not worried about it, it makes your job so much easier.
Right?
Yeah, I get treated really well where I work, and so I'm going to retire out of there. Like, I'm glad it happened to me at this point in my life, that my last, dozen or so working years, I get to do something I enjoy.
Well, I think you were chosen to do that. Again, just because, it is kind of funny. Christian working in a Jewish synagogue with a building full of Jewish people.
Yeah.
But I mean, God doesn't, he didn't make the religion, so to speak. He's God, and his word has always been the same.
Right.
To the Jewish people, as well as to Christians and Protestant and
Jesus taught the Old Testament.
Right.
I mean, he was a teacher.
Well, there was no New Testament when he was alive. Right?
Nope.
But if you believe that he was the Son of God, he was put here to
Go on that mission.
to really speak the word of God more so than what was written in the Old Testament.
He was on a mission of mercy, I like to say. And he had his moment in the Garden of Gethsemane when he had doubt crept in, and he asked God, you sure this is the only way to do this?
Right. Well, and he was tempted by, remember, he was 40 days he spent in the desert, and the devil came and
Tried everything.
Tried everything to get him to sin and come over to the dark side.
But he knew, there's a man who knew full well what the destiny was, what the end game was. And he went willingly.
Yeah.
So that part of it, when I really started to dive into the Gospels and read the story of what happened and how it happened, that's what really compelled me.
So what do you guys think? Is that the face of Jesus Christ right there? I mean, what you see on his forehead, that's blood. They've tested it. It's blood. It's not just some mark there. You know, when you see the marks, let me go to the photograph. You can see those same marks on his head. You can see the marks all across his legs, his buttocks. Here's his buttocks here in his back, the back of his head. You can see all that, and that's blood. This man was crucified. You know, you can see on this wrist, his hands covering the other wrist, but you can see that they put nails through it. The same with the feet. They broke his legs.
Yeah.
Because one of the things they wanted him to suffer for a long time. And if the theory is if they didn't break his legs, even though he was nailed to the thing, there's still a board that they had them on too, and they could push their weight up, and it would allow, I guess, his lungs to fill up with fluid quicker, and they would die quicker. So they broke his legs so he couldn't do that. And they wanted him to suffer for days,
Right.
but he lasted only about 3 or 4 hours, I think. But I mean, they beat the hell out of him.
One of the translations that I've read said that he was unrecognizable whether he was a human or an animal by the time they put him on the cross.
Right?
So beaten until you're unrecognizable.
That's pretty nasty. And it's funny, what gets me is, so a week prior to this, the people were hailing him.
Laying down palm fronds.
They were hailing him, doing the palms, and then a week later they were throwing rocks and telling
Same people.
Pilate to kill him.
Crucify him.
Yep.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Same people. And that still happens. That's still alive today, that same spirit in people. Crucify him, kill him. The people that would get on a platform in front of a microphone and say horrible things about somebody who was murdered in cold blood for everybody to see. So it's the same thing. It's that same person that's saying stone him, crucify him.
Right.
You know, it's a line that I think has changed. I think the line has changed from liberal and conservative to we love God and we don't love God. And I think that change has kind of taken place since Charlie Kirk got shot. I think that's all of a sudden the line has changed. In my opinion, that's how I see it.
I agree with that.
That's how I
I mean, we use the term we eat our own. You know what I mean?
Yep.
1 minute you're holding someone in high regard, and then they for whatever reason you're told that they stumbled or they did something, and the next thing we want to do is cancel them.
I hear there's people right now that aren't showing their Christianity anymore. And I think that's too bad. There's people that aren't wearing their shirts with American flags on them or their hats with American flags on them anymore, because all of a sudden in this country, that's become a symbol of hatred.
Right.
That you want to show your loyalty to America and display the flag. All of a sudden, that's become a bad thing.
That is that's a planned thing by evil. I
agree with that.
I lightly touch on it in my morning show because I don't want to steer my show on a path, go down a path that's, I try to cater to all everyone in my audience. This podcast, I like to talk about things that I don't talk about on the morning show. so that's one of the reasons why, I said to Buddy Bob the other day, why don't we talk about the Shroud of Turin? Because this is to answer your question too, Linda, is because last night I was watching Wes Huff. Are you familiar with him, Buddy Bob?
Who?
Wes Huff.
No.
He's a 32-year-old professor. He's also would you call him a theologian, somebody that studies religion?
Yes.
And he's also a linguist expert. He can read several different languages. So he can read Hebrew and Aramaic and a number of different languages. He studied them, and he's a really smart guy. So I've been watching him on. So here's a clip here of him on Joe Rogan, and they talk about everything from the Dead Sea Scrolls to the Shroud, and I haven't finished watching it. I was watching it yesterday, and it's almost 3 hours long, so I'm almost done with it. But if anybody is interested, this kid, and I call him a kid because he's only 32, he's a brilliant human being, and he is I don't know. I just think if you're interested in this, you should watch this kid because he's really smart. He's got great content on biblical artifacts. Oh my God, that is a topic of contention. I get so angry that our freedom of speech is being so infringed upon. And it's, like I said, Linda, it's a planned thing. So I truly believe that and Colleen and I talk about this. I talk about it in my morning show, right? PMA. What do we say? We talk about positivity and positive energy and how positive energy attracts other positive energy. It attracts light. And then, but you can't have light without dark.
No.
You can't have love without hate.
Good without evil.
And sometimes that the evil energy gets strong. It's always here, and it gets stronger, and it begins to take over, and it takes over the minds of human beings, whether they know it or not. It's almost like, that we talked about God knocking on my door my whole life, but I didn't open it until I was older. I think evil has a way of you could open up, like on a game show. You get door number 1 or door number 2, and some people open up the wrong door.
Or you can take what's in the box.
Right. I'll take the box, Jack. I think that they open up the wrong door, and I think right now evil is got a foothold on this planet, and you have people willing to take other people's lives for this crazy bullshit that they are being shoved down their throat every day. Every day, people are this goddamn thing right here, this device. We have the world at our fingertips.
Yep.
And how do you know what to believe? We're being fed stuff all the time. It's the information age.
Anybody with a voice can do what we're doing right now.
Right.
And get on here and say whatever we like. There may be consequences, but technically we can say whatever we want. But here's the thing that I see with social media and technology is anybody now, their voice can be heard. Whereas before, not everybody's voice could be heard.
Right.
And online, the same thing happens that happens in real life. People are wonderful, awesome, an amazing gift from God, every person. And if you engage with a person one-on-one, have a conversation, strike up You're talking about something you both have in common. That's one of the most amazing things that can happen in your life. But people get in groups.
Yeah.
In real life, they get in groups, political groups, religious groups, anti this, pro this. And then the same thing happens online. People get in groups. Somebody makes a comment, and another person likes it and reposts it. And then another person likes it and reposts it. And it goes on like that. Now you've got other people that are willing to agree with you. Now you've got a group.
Right.
And groups aren't, sometimes they're a good thing, but not always.
Well, and people get lazy because the information they're being told, they just right out of the gate. And I've been a victim of this too, where you read something, you go, "Oh yeah, I believe that." Well, it wasn't true.
Right.
And so, like when you hear, we've been talking about Charlie Kirk, I'll use him as the example. They call him a racist, they call him a misogynist, and they call him whatever. None of that was ever true.
No.
He's not a racist. He's not a misogynist.
Not a fascist.
He's none of that. But the people that are saying that, they're believing the things that they're being force fed by the faction that's the dark side. So, if you can convince people of a lie, they're going to continue to spread the lie.
Absolutely.
You need to really do your research and look into it. And I see friends of mine today that are guilty, and they don't even know it, of spreading that disinformation. And look, I'm not afraid to admit it. I've done it in the past, and
happened to me.
I've changed my ways. Before I spread anything or try to pass on any information, I do my due diligence. Yeah, I do my due diligence, and I try to find out whether that's correct information that I'm putting out there. What better way to get your disinformation out is to convince young people,
Right.
high school to college age people. And that's one of the reasons why Charlie Kirk, I think, went to these universities.
Without a doubt.
Because I know in my heart that evil has embedded itself in these academic establishments, colleges, high schools as well, where they're pumping mis and disinformation into these young people. And why would they not believe somebody who's their professor? They're supposed to be teaching them truths.
They're converting them instead.
And that's it. What better way
to get them while they're still young?
Get them while they're young. Yeah.
And so that's why Charlie Kirk went into those areas.
Exactly.
So he could counteract the misinformation that these kids are getting pumped into their brains all day long.
And it's not about politics or what side of the aisle you're on. It's not about any of that. And it always came for Charlie. What always came down to it was his faith in God too, because that's where the truth is. Jesus didn't lie, never lied, and that's how I try to live my life. Look, I haven't been the best person in my life, but I try to do better. I try to be a better human being. And I think that's what he was trying to teach these kids is, look, don't believe in these. Now, he did say, because people are like, oh, well, he was uneducated because he quit school. Well, no, he actually went back to school and he had a couple master's degrees or something like that.
I was going to sound like I'm saying something funny, but he was too smart. He enrolled in college and started doing classes, all that, and went, oh, this is ridiculous.
Well, the stuff that they were teaching was ridiculous.
I'm just going to educate myself.
Yeah.
I mean, he started his foundation when he was 18 years old. Come on. He was the smartest guy in the room when he was in his early 20s. I mean, he just was that guy that had a gift. He was smart. He had a way of holding information in his brain, statistics and reports, and he could challenge anybody, or he could agree with people and then provide. He always, one thing about Charlie Kirk too, if you go back and look at his videos, he always provided reasons behind his answers.
So I just asked the AI about him and said he briefly attended Harper College, a community college in Illinois, because he was from Chicago, but he didn't complete his degree. He later took online classes at King's College in New York City. He enrolled part-time. He has not earned a traditional college degree. He was awarded an honorary doctorate at Hillsdale College, which is not the same as an earned academic degree. But he didn't need that. I mean, if anybody's watched him, regardless of whether you agree with him or not, he's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, he didn't need the piece of paper hanger on his wall.
So he didn't have any degrees, which I thought so. But we look it up. He had the degree of hard knocks. The guy was a smart man.
Right, and he didn't get indoctrinated.
No.
Like a lot of these other students have. And then in the kids that would challenge him, I noticed they'd always get angry. They'd always, before they leave the mic, they'd call him a name and then run away.
Right.
And because they couldn't defeat him in the debate, or they'd just get frustrated when he was asking them for answers. They would just get frustrated and end the conversation. But I hope that there's somebody else out there that can fill his shoes. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 people.
Are you familiar with Luke 12:2-3, buddy Bob?
Not off the top of my head.
I have my Bible over there on my nightstand, but you can look that up. Or you want to look it up on your phone?
Luke 2-3?
12:2-3.
Okay.
On the funny side, cruise group, craft groups. If they dumb society, they can run with their own agenda. They don't teach critical thinking to teach them to think for themselves anymore. And you're 100% correct, Linda. Well, and it goes along with a lot of things that are going on. So they're indoctrinating the youngins into their own thinking, so they don't think for themselves. They put stuff in the food, which is making little boys fat and weak. Believe me, they've been putting chemicals in the food. I don't want to get too crazy on that, but my point is if you weaken the mind and you weaken the body, then those groups are easier to control, so that people won't fight back. Another reason why, and I'm a Second Amendment guy. I've owned weapons. I have weapons. I just bought a new one. I'm all about guns for the right reasons. It's not the knife that's running around killing people. It's the person that's wielding the knife. It's the crazy person.
Remember I mentioned in Australia, I think it's Australia, it could be England, where they outlawed guns.
Both.
And recently this summer they had to go around and collect machetes from people.
That was in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were assault machetes, apparently.
Right.
So they collect. So my question is, if you start doing that, where do you stop?
Well, like I said, knives. Well, pencil can be an
you
assault
can kill
weapon.
a pencil if you're Joe Pesci.
Right?
So
yeah.
you're going to outlaw assault pencil?
Go get your shine box.
Yeah. I mean, you start taking away people's means to protect themselves, and they're going to find something else. They'll hit you over the head with a shovel if that's all they do.
Our founding fathers, and you guys that watch my morning show, you know how much of a patriot I am. Our founding fathers were geniuses. When they wrote the Second Amendment, that was genius, because they were fighting the same thing. They weren't allowed to have weapons back then. They could, but they were taking them away from them. Again, if you weaken the mind and weaken the body, and you take away all the weapons,
Right.
You
You're
can
an easy
control anybody. You can't fight back. And that's the reason why our founding fathers wrote the Second Amendment. It had nothing to do with hunting like they try to talk
target.
about.
Sounds a lot more like fascism to me than.
Right. It was all about being able to protect yourself and to rise up and fight against a tyrannical
government.
government. So what's
Absolutely.
did you look up the Luke 12,
Yeah.
3?
This is a great verse. So, and I don't know what version this is. Nothing is covered up that will not be revealed or hidden, that will not be known. Therefore, whatever you have said in the dark will be heard in the light, and what you have whispered in private rooms will be proclaimed on the rooftops.
Right. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Linda, thank you for suggesting that. That does explain it, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's easy to form a kid's mind these days because you can't tell who's behind the info being created for us. And it's right. You're right. That's why I always said, and again, I would be hypocritical if I said I never put out fake news or mis or disinformation, because I've been guilty of it. You really have to do your homework and make sure that you're repeating something that's exactly true.
Yep.
Here's another thing. You've seen both Buddy Bob and I using this and using Chat GPT or Grok or whatever your favorite AI is. Don't trust that 100% either, because it's been programmed by a human being, and
Right.
it's not autonomous whether they try to tell you it is or not. Somebody programs those things.
Right.
And if you don't think they're not biased, I think you're ignorant to that fact. They can be biased. So really
I
be
agree.
careful of the information you put out there, even though, well, Chat GPT said it's true. Well, okay. It's still not true. And God forbid, stop watching news on television, especially the mainstream media. There are places for you to get your news information. ABC, CNN, and MSNBC are not the places to get that. And I would even caution against Fox in that.
So I watch my local news in the morning,
Yeah,
and I get the weather, and I get, car accident on 95.
right.
And they lightly touch on, the national news.
Sure.
But it's mostly stuff that's interesting to me. And then at the end of the show, you get the weather and where to get the best clam roll in the state. Things like that. That's the news I'm interested in. And if there's anything else going on, I get my phone on my computer and I look at stories, and then I, like you said, look at more than one story about what's going on. Try to get all the angles, try to, get the major points. If you're something that you want to talk about, you have to be a little bit educated.
There are outlets out there that you can get information from that hasn't been spun, the no spin zone, so to speak. And it's just the news. They're giving you the facts, the factual stuff that's been put out there. Not,
Opinions.
and I was just going to say that a lot of it you see is editorial stuff, on the news. Well, I don't care about somebody's opinion, some guy, the talking head. I don't care about his opinion. Just tell me what happened.
I think this is all Ted Turner's fault.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Ted Turner started the first 24-hour news station.
CNN.
But he didn't realize there isn't really 24 hours worth of news.
No.
So what we'll do is we'll bring in people to give their opinion, and we'll stretch this out, and we'll have people talk about it, be a panel. Now that's all the news is people on one side or the other, not both, one side or the other, giving you their opinion. And so it's on the face, it has no value.
If you search on YouTube and on Rumble, because I like Rumble as well, I look at Rumble, but you can find citizen journalists out there that are reporting nothing but the news and the news the way it's happening. Not there's no opinions, there's nothing made up.
Right.
And you know, in this world of, I mean, we're live right now. Buddy Bob and I are live. If I say poop, oh, there's nobody censoring me saying poop.
That's right. Everybody poops.
Right. But my point to that is that you can look and you can see the stuff happening in Chicago, say, or you can see it happening over in England and Australia. I mean, that England, those folks over there, the citizens, they're ready to a civil war there. It's crazy what's going on. Australia as well.
Sharia law.
Well, and it's partly Sharia law, and it's other stuff too. It's the whole immigration stuff. It's happening in Australia. There's some anti-Semitic stuff happening, and it's just, I don't want to get too far into that. That's a topic for another show, but you can find people actually out there just reporting this stuff, and it's actually real as you see it.
Yep.
It's not opinion. It's not editorials. You know, if they said that somebody threw a rock in the face of another guy and they had it live on camera, it was right there. It really happened. So I would just caution people out there to be careful and be careful with the information you're spreading. And I said that
double check it.
I have friends of mine that are content creators right now that I love and adore, but they're pumping out false information. Do your research.
So we try to be careful when we talk about these subjects that could be touchy one way or the other. And we try to we get together before we get on camera. We try to discuss what we know, you know, so that we're not telling you anything that's factually incorrect.
Yeah, we don't want to, I don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers. Some of these topics are sensitive.
At the same time, we want to talk about them if we can, but
Oh, here it is. We're all guilty of sin. He who has never sinned he cast the first stone.
There you go.
Absolutely right.
we have all sinned and fall short of the glory of God.
Right. Yeah.
It's humbling, isn't it? I always find that set me free. For all have sinned and all fall
And we'll
short
continue
of
to
the
sin.
glory of God. So it's like, phew. I heard that in church. I was like, wow, that's a weight off my shoulders.
Right.
It's not just me,
No, it's everyone.
you know,
All of us.
But it's the sort of like Jesus says, here's what to do after you get hit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, so you feel guilty about, oh my goodness, boy, do I fall short. I know everybody falls short, but geez.
Well, I do it every day when I watch some of the news on TV and the real news that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When I see people rioting, I get mad because, you know, you're a human being. If you're not a human being, if you don't pick a side, we all do it.
Right.
And I get pissed sometimes. I'm like, and I'll say something and I'll go, God, forgive me for saying that, because I don't really mean harm on people.
I always picture God floating on a cloud, looking down, going, they're grouping up again. Hey, you guys,
Yeah.
you're grouping up again. What's
Yeah.
going on over there?
Spread out. Yep.
But you know, I bring it all back to that, is that, you know, we get into groups and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
And it's don't follow a political trend because it's fashionable. You know, don't follow a religious trend because everybody else is doing it.
Right.
And Charlie Kirk said it very well. It's not about Catholic or Protestant or whatever. It's that you have a relationship with Jesus Christ. That's the important
Right.
part of it,
Exactly.
is that you have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. That's like key. So and that's, Charlie had that. He always put Jesus first. It's Jesus that did this and said this and guides my life in this way. So yeah, I feel like we get we break into too many groups, And then, once you get one group against another, it makes it difficult, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. And the thing is that it's like a pack of dogs, right? You get one or two dogs together and they're okay. But then you get a whole pack of them and they start to beat up on something,
Right.
a
Pecking
squirrel, a
order.
fox, or whatever. And humans are no different. It's called, my therapist called it group speak.
Yeah.
You've
Love
done it.
that.
You've probably done it. So I work with a pack of wolves in the fire service. We sit around the table, and one guy goes, I don't like the color blue. You know what? I tripped over a blue shoe once. I don't like blue either.
Yeah.
And then they all start picking on the color blue, and that's group speak.
Right.
Now, obviously, I'm making light of it using a color in that, but look at the poor Jews on this planet. They've been persecuted for thousands of years, and that's mostly because of group speak.
They're God's chosen people. They're called that in the Bible. That has, over the last couple of thousand years, that has ruffled some feathers.
You think?
So it's oh yeah, God's chosen people, huh? We'll show you.
Right.
It's like that,
But it's group speak, and
Right.
then it goes along with, and we can use that. The whole Hitler and the Nazi thing back in the 30s into the 40s. You start telling lies about people. The subject are Jews. Oh, they're bad. They're the devil. They're the ones that have all the money. They're the ones that are
taking over Europe.
taking everything over. And you convince a bunch of people that that's really what's happening, which wasn't really what was happening. And next thing you know, they're rounding these people up and they're killing 8 million of them. It could happen to any one of us. And it's happening in this country right now. There's a lot of evil happening. And
When I see that now, of course, anti-Semitism is on the rise worldwide. When I see what happened last week when Netanyahu was speaking at the United Nations.
yeah, they walked out on them.
And half the people walked out. All I can say about that is that in the Bible it says they will be blinded.
Yeah.
They will be blinded to the truth. But like we were just saying, these people, they didn't just do that by happenstance. That just wasn't a moment that all of a sudden everybody decided at the same time. No, they got into a group. Hey,
Groups.
here's what we're gonna do.
When you
We're
get
all
that.
gonna walk out, okay? Are you with us? Yeah, I'm with you.
Well,
Let's go. Let's do
you
it.
don't want to say no because then you're going to be shunned from the group.
Right.
Okay, we're going to walk out.
And it's something that you can't erase. You can't keep people from doing that. You can't keep people from looking for a group of other people that they can hang with and associate with, whether it's productive or not. People want to be with other people.
Yeah.
The problem we have is when they get with other people, they have a tendency to, all right, we are this group of people. We are something. We are an entity because we are a group. That can be dangerous. Can't it?
Yeah, it certainly can be very dangerous. We've gone quite down.
A rabbit hole a little bit. That's all right.
Cut on a tangent.
A little bit of nonsense happening. It's okay.
Yeah.
We can break up the tension though
Let's break it up.
and move to our.
All right. Well, let's do this. All right, this is the portion of the show where we do our top 10 something or others. And Buddy Bob, you came up with the top 10 topic today. What was it?
We have been doing different members of bands, right? Singers and guitar players and such. Today I wanted to do piano and keyboard players.
Top 10 rock and roll piano and keyboard
Rock
players.
and roll, piano, and
So
keyboard
we're not
players.
talking about,
You know, Jimmy, one of my favorite instruments, because a lot like the bass, when you first listen to a song, the piano and the bass, you hear them, but you don't really hear them.
Right.
You know, you don't realize how good somebody's really playing that bass or how good somebody's really playing that keyboard. Again, you listen to vocals, you're listening to flashy guitar and all of that. Sometimes these poor guys are like the offensive linemen. They get no glory.
Right.
So I thought it was a good time to shine a light on some incredible piano players. Why don't you hit us with the first one, Jim?
All right. Let me go through my list here because I wasn't that prepared, but let me pick the first one in no particular order. And again, like anything, when it comes to, people that you like, it's all subjective. My first player here would be Rick Wakeman from the group Yes, which again, like
On
always,
my list.
we're gonna have we'll have probably some of the same people on there. But if anybody knows the band Yes, you're familiar with Rick Wakeman. Unbelievable keyboard player. Plays about, who the hell knows, several different keyboards all around the same time, and the guy, he could be an octopus the way he plays.
Yeah, he broke it just when synthesizers were coming out, and he was one of the first guys to be surrounded by just keyboards everywhere, like a circle of keyboards.
But not just a keyboard player, he's a piano player.
Yes. He played on other people's songs.
Yeah.
Cat Stevens' Morning Has Broken. That's a beautiful, beautiful piano piece in that. David Bowie's The Life on Mars.
Live on Mars, I was going to say.
He plays a piano in that, and I've heard that with no vocals, just the piano track, and it's beautiful. But
Yeah, so there you go, Rick Wakeman.
Yeah. He's just an incredible player.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with Billy Joel. Why
Oh.
not start there?
Okay.
Great player.
No slouch.
No slouch at all. All different styles he can play. He's a great songwriter and a great singer as well, or he was. I mean, he's getting up there, and he retired because he has some type of brain issue.
I have a feeling, from what we read, they're gonna fix him,
Yeah, they're trying to fix him.
and I have a feeling he'll be back.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Billy Joel, though, one of the great players. He's from an Italian restaurant in Vienna, and I don't know, name them all. Piano Man. That was probably one of the first songs I ever heard by him. But
My sister was a couple of years older than me when I was growing up, and she had 52nd Street and The Stranger, and those to this day, those are my two favorite Billy Joel albums. But Anthony's Song and This Is My Life. He was a great writer, but he did a great service to everybody by putting the piano in the forefront. So you sit there and you go, wow, man, that guy can play.
he sure can.
So who's next?
Who's next? Well, since we're talking about songwriters and singers, this guy's more of a singer and piano player. He had a partner,
Oh, sure.
Elton John, Sir Elton John.
Oh, so Bob's list.
Bernie Taupin was his
Yeah.
partner, his writing partner, who wrote pretty much all the lyrics, and Elton wrote all the music. And then Elton put them to song and sang the songs.
But the music. Oh my goodness, that guy.
Right.
Man, can he play? I love his music.
And he can wear a Donald Duck suit.
He can wear whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He can wear whatever he wants.
I think he's earned that.
Plays and sings like that. Let him do whatever he wants. He
Right.
wants to be like a different version of Liberace. Go for it.
Hey, I don't care.
Go for it.
I don't know if I want to see him bare ass.
No, nothing like that.
Somebody wants to see that.
But especially the early stuff. And Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is one of those must-own albums. And maybe that'll be a list we do someday. The must-own albums.
Yeah, top 10 must-own album.
Must-own albums.
Must
And
own.
Goodbye Yellow
Own,
Brick
not
Road.
must tone.
No, must-own.
Must own.
Must get it. and listen to the whole thing from side A to side B.
According to this, it's his anthems, his melodic anthems, are what made him one of the most iconic keyboardists of all time.
So in the 70s, he had that song. You don't think about it. When you think of Elton John, which songs do you think of? Do you think of Philadelphia Freedom or Island Girl?
One of my favorites is Philadelphia Freedom.
But that was a huge, huge mega hit for him in the 70s.
What about Harmony?
Oh,
Hello, baby, hello. One of my favorites.
like I mentioned, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, there's not a slow horse in that barn.
No.
Every song on that album, and it's a double album.
Yeah,
Every song is a masterpiece. It's just, like I said, must-own album.
right. All right, who you got next?
Onward we move. One of my personal favorites, Mr. Leon Russell.
Ah, yes, indeed.
Played, of course, with Joe Cocker. He always had a big band. He wrote great songs, and he had an iconic, distinguishable voice. But the guy was classically trained, and he could play Rachmaninoff and then Jerry Lee Lewis right after. I mean, there wasn't anything he couldn't do on the piano. Plus, he played guitar. Plus, he could play bass. Plus, he was just a multi-instrumentalist. But his piano playing, just to listen to, I loved it. You talk about having a glass of scotch and a cigar, sit down and put on some Leon Russell. I'm there. I love that guy.
Yeah, very good.
Underrated.
My turn.
Your turn.
Well, going back to the prog rock stuff, Tony Banks from the band Genesis, another one, piano player
Yes.
as well, but keyboardist extraordinaire. If you listen to, like the Lamb That Lies Down album and that,
Yeah.
Again, another one, no slow horse in that barn at all.
No.
Everything's great. But even after then there were three, when it was just him and Mike
Rutherford
and
what's his face?
Phil Collins. My mind is not what it is. I'm glad it's not just me, but the chemo has messed up my brain, and it's clearly messed up Buddy Bob.
I don't have an excuse.
But even after Peter Gabriel left the band, because he was a major influence, writing the lyrics and that and singing, and Tony Banks is clearly one of the most influential, if not the guy songwriter in that band. It was him. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
and he's played on other people's records, I believe.
Yes,
as well,
he has,
so.
and he's made his own records. But yeah, he complimented in the early days when they were very, very progressive under Peter Gabriel as a lead singer. His stuff was just mystical. And you like Rick Wakeman, he just had a way of filling the sound up.
Well, it's more than just chords,
And
it's
then when
very
they
melodic.
transitioned into the 80s and they were doing that MTV stuff, I like to call it, he would still like playing incredible parts. So yeah, that's a good one to mention. I'm going to mention one that you're not going to know, and that's Billy Payne. Billy Payne is the piano player for Little Feat.
Oh, okay.
And
Right on.
they play a lot of honky-tonk, ragtime type music. And he's also a very, very smart individual, well-read. Lowell George used to say he should be president. But that band would not be what they are or were without him. He's just the backbone. He's just a great player.
Okay, it's my turn.
Over to you.
Again, sticking to my roots and prog rock. Richard Wright from Pink Floyd.
Well.
And he was never out front, because you know you got the likes of David Gilmour on the guitar, who's just a flippin' freak, and then of course is love him or hate him, Roger Waters, you know, out front as well, playing the bass and singing.
Hate him, I think.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him as a person.
Not these days, anyway.
No. But yeah, Richard Wright, when you think of everything, I mean, you know, the Dark Side of the Moon album, of course, everybody knows that. But even the newer stuff.
Yeah. He
laid down the mood of each song.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
trying to.
He brought you into that world, whatever it was.
Right.
Whatever it was. Yeah. I was trying to think of a name, but they had a hit in the '80s with an album after Roger Waters left.
Yeah. What's the song?
It's not even in the
On the Turning
Away. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that album is very good, but because Pink Floyd had sort of split at that time, it didn't sell as good as the other Pink Floyd albums. But
that was the Pulse album or
I
something.
think that sounds right. But it was a great album because I had it on cassette.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't take Richard Wright out of that band, then they're nothing.
No, and I think at one time, forgive me if I'm wrong, something tells me that I think that when Roger Waters was still in the band, he wanted to get rid of Richard Wright. And
I haven't heard that.
I don't know. I could be wrong by that, but David Gilmour was like, yeah, no, we wouldn't be Pink Floyd without him. So Richard Wright, anyway, there you go. Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, I'm sitting here just staring, you know. Billy Powell.
Oh, Billy Powell.
Billy Powell played piano for Leonard Skinner.
Indeed, he did.
Go get Leonard Skinner.
Another not so well-known piano player.
Yes, not keyboard.
But
piano.
when you hear Freebird, you hear him.
Yeah, and so many others. There's great piano on "Give Me Three Steps." Yeah, I know a little. He's just a great player, and God rest his soul. He did pass away a few years ago. But if you have enjoyed Leonard Skinner over the years, you have been listening to Billy Powell.
Right.
And he was, one of the greats.
All right, ready for this?
I'm ready.
You're going to love it.
I'm going to love it.
Christine McVie.
Oh, I do love that.
I knew you'd love that.
She's not on my list.
Not hailed as a great piano player, I don't think, but in my mind, I think she is, because
I agree. That's
she's
a great pick.
been writing a lot of the music for Fleetwood Mac, regardless of who was in the band. I mean, she wrote a crap load of their hits, and she was the keyboardist.
So Songbird, her playing Songbird, which is just her and a piano. It's one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of great videos, but there's a video of her like 76, 77, that era, and everybody leaves the stage and it's just her and a piano, and she does Songbird. It brings a tear to my eye when I hear it. It's so good. It's so good. She was just great.
Thanks, Linda. Have a good show. We'll come on over and say hi when we get done here. But for those of you guys that are coming in, or if you're watching us on Team Replay, make sure you hit that like button for us and get that algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to Uncle Scugga Radio, you'd be doing us both a big favor if you did that. I think we're probably at about 150 subscribers right now, which it's the first 100 is always the hardest, but we just want to grow this channel and grow. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. All right, your turn, buddy Bob.
All right, my next entry is a gentleman named Jules. Holland.
Oh, geez, yeah, there's one. I didn't have him on my list.
From the band Squeeze.
Yep.
Very high energy music, high energy band, and a great piano. Keyboards, piano, whatever you need. He was just great. And I loved the Squeeze, like in the late 70s through into the 80s. Those guys were great. That was some really good music.
One of my favorite bands. I've seen them twice.
Yeah.
Squeeze. Neither which had Jules in the band.
No,
No,
he hasn't been in the band for a while.
I think their second album, he was done. They had Paul Carrick in the band for a short stint. He did the Coffee in Bed, and I think Jules came back.
Yeah, he came back on the Frank album, the one with the picture of the turtle on it.
Yeah.
He's on that album.
But
yeah, I think they had personal differences that they just never quite could work out.
I would agree with that.
I think.
Well, he's a strong personality, and
I think Squeeze was different in Tilbrook.
Yeah.
And then the other guys sort of were just there. So I think that was an issue.
It's kind of like the Beatles in a way.
Yeah, or the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles kind of a thing. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Dr. John.
Oh, Mac Rebenak. That's
Mac
his real name.
Rebenak. That's his real name.
Mac Rebenak.
Dr. John. If you grew up in the 70s and you heard any kind of bluesy, kind of another raggy time kind of
Jazz,
player and
New Orleans jazz.
Yeah.
Cool voice.
Yeah. Big guy, always wore hats.
Yep.
Talk
about a right place.
Yeah, in the wrong time. But Dr. John, another cool.
Went on, played for years and years and years. Had
Yeah.
a long, super long career.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. What can you say? What number are we on?
I don't know. I only have a couple left.
All right, couple left.
Dennis DeYoung.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Dennis DeYoung from Styx. I'm sailing away. Playing the piano on that.
Actually, in the early days, the first 3 or 4 albums
Right.
before Tommy Shaw got in the band, it was all keyboards. And again, that was sort of when synthesizers were first starting to come in the mid to late 70s, when the synthesizers first started to come in. And you heard, like, I think the demarcation point there is Wings. Paul McCartney said, "Oh, synthesizers? Yeah, I'm all in."
Right.
And all of a sudden you started hearing all these synthesizers, and then bands like Styx came out.
First time I ever heard
yeah.
and learned what portamento was from Styx. That's portamento is when you hit a note and then the note goes all the way up to the scale several octaves playing the same note, but it'll start low, or you could go from high to low. That's a portamento. And I was like, how do they do that? Because you don't hear him like sliding his fingers up the keyboard or anything. It goes from one note all the way up several octaves to that same note, but higher. And yeah, that's when I learned about portamento. And when they do that's done with portamento.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great too. I had Pieces of Eight and The Grand Illusion.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 favorites.
Absolutely. How can you hate it? All right. Let's see. Who can I find on my list of all these people? I'm torn between these two. I'm going to go with Billy Preston.
You just helped me. Because I had 2. I was stuck on 2. I couldn't figure out which one I was going to use. And you used Billy Preston, so now I have
Billy
one
Preston. Mostly a session player, played with everybody.
He was the 5th Beatle.
He was the 5th Beatle. Yeah. But he played with other artists as well. I can't really off the top of my head because of my brain being so messed up as it is. But Billy Preston, a great keyboardist, one of the great players. Great player.
A couple of hits on his own in the 70s too. All right, so that leaves me with Stevie Wonder.
Oh, so they were the two. I
I
had
had
Stevie
the-
Wonder or Billy
The
Preston.
last two I had to decide between was Stevie Wonder and Billy Preston. Stevie Wonder can't see, but boy, can he play. And on his first few albums, right up until music from the songs from the Key of Life, he played every instrument. He played the bass, he played the drums, he played the piano, played the guitar. But really, the piano, when you hear things like Sir Duke, Superstition, it's like, wow, that guy was
Right.
groundbreaking.
And
with the electric
talk
piano.
about early with synthesizer too. He was another one who
Yeah.
kind of broke out with the synth.
Yep.
But yeah, the electric piano and especially in Superstition, crazy.
Yep.
And that was one of those. So my last one is going to be it's actually two guys because I like them both, and they were both in the same band. Greg Raleigh and
Oh.
Jonathan Cain from the band Journey. I like Greg Raleigh because he was in the band first, and he played.
Him and Neil Sean formed the band.
He played right up until the time when Steve Perry joined the band. Right after the album that they have with Steve Perry
And fired him.
sharing the vocals, because Greg Raleigh sang.
Right.
And
And that first album with both of them, that was some of the best Journey.
when
that
you
there
hear
was.
"Wheel in the Sky" and all
Yeah.
of that, that's with Greg Raleigh.
I opened my eyes to a new kind of way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. But then Jonathan Cain replaced him. I wouldn't say replaced him, but filled the position. And here's a guy who wrote a
Back
lot,
on my feet again for the Babies.
right? But in Journey, he wrote most of the love songs
Open
that you
Arms, he
hear.
wrote-
All of that. He wrote all of that. And yeah, so I had to pick those two just because.
So you snuck in an extra one.
Did I?
You did.
Oh, because
You
I
did too.
picked the two.
So that leaves me a little.
All
bit-
right, you get one more.
So
then.
one more. We didn't mention Greg Allman.
Oh well, yeah.
And he single-handedly made the Hammond B3 organ a thing.
Him and the player from hold on, I'll get his name. Hold on.
The intro to Whipping Post.
You
hear that organ? Hear that organ in there? It's awesome.
The other one with the Hammond is John Lord from Deep Purple,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah. That was 80s Deep Purple.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. Top 10 rock and roll keyboardists, piano players of all time.
Awesome.
And again, that list is subjective. You may have picked somebody else that you liked or didn't like. Y'all are talking pianists. Yeah, the pianists.
He's the
Correct.
pianist guy I ever seen.
You mentioned Leon Russell. Leon Russell was in the list, Edie. You came in a little bit late, but he was on the list for sure. Well, how much time we got? Oh, we only got about 6 minutes left. So let's we're gonna do this or that. It was Buddy Bob's turn to do this or that this week. So
This or that.
oh, and Dee Dee, we were talking about you too earlier. You'll have to go back and watch on Team Replay. But we were talking about you.
All right, here we go. We don't have a jingle yet for this or that.
No, I haven't done a bumper for this or that, but I'll get one going here at some point. We're gonna straighten out our cameras. That's why you're looking at the side of my bald head, and I haven't quite figured it out.
All right, we'll try to roll through a few of these while we got the time. Fair or circus?
Oh, the circus is cool because you got all the animals, and they could have several rings that's going on, and
Acrobats.
people flipping and carve a tiny little car full of all kinds of clowns jumping in and out of. But I think I'm going to go with the fair because the fair the fair has a little bit of everything. You could see some acrobats at a fair. You get the food, you get the animals, you get up close and personal with a lot of that.
Fair smells better.
The fair does, you think? Well, it depends on where you're at. If you stay in the food
When you go to
area,
the fair and you get out of your car and you start walking towards the gate and you're smelling fried dough and French fries.
and then there's amusements too, which I would never let my kids ride on, but they look cool when they're not breaking down.
Yeah. Well, some of those operators are questionable, but
Yeah. You go to the fair and the amusement rides are there. You can get yourself some crack cocaine and put your kid on the roller coaster all at the same time.
all at the same time.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go with fair.
All right. Here's somebody who we've mentioned earlier in the podcast: Howard Cosell or Johnny Most.
Oh, Howard Cosell's all over Johnny Most because Howard did more than just basketball games. Johnny Most, he was the voice of the Celtics for years and years and years. But Howard Cosell, especially when he did boxing and he got on with Ali and that.
That's the down goes Frazier.
Yeah,
Down goes
Frazier.
And I'm sentimental about Howard Cosell because that's how I learned that John Lennon had been shot. Was Howard Cosell on Monday Night Football.
And what about when he said, "Look at that monkey run"?
They said he would drink, and on average at that time he would drink an average of 5 martinis during the broadcast.
So you never knew what was going to come out of his mouth. So Howard Cosell.
He got him a little bit of flack for that. All right, next we got Captain Morgan or Bacardi.
Captain Morgan or Bacardi.
Yeah, they're both rum.
Yeah, but one's spiced rum and one's not. All right. You gave it to me. I think I'm going to go with Bacardi, even though I drank gallons of Captain Morgan. I think you can use regular clear white rum in more drinks.
Yeah.
I think it just tastes better. So I'm going to go with Bacardi.
Unless it's the 151, that's not clear.
No, it's not. Well, you can buy the Bacardi Gold too.
You know what I used to do, and you remember this, is you get a bottle of Bacardi 151, and then you get a big jar of cherries, and you empty out all the cherry juice and just fill it up with Bacardi 151.
Yeah, we would always pull that out at one of the Down Under parties. Yep.
Goodyear blimp or drones? And I'm thinking of, like the Super Bowl, the overhead shot of Super Bowl was always the Goodyear blimp, but now it's just drones.
You can do so much more with a drone. But nostalgia-wise, you got to go with the blimp,
Blimps are
dude.
cool.
You got to go with the blimp. And you can still see them flying around now and then, especially in Boston. The Hood Dairy Company, they have a big Hood blimp. You'll see that flying around.
I always wondered who worked for Goodyear and said, I think we should build a blimp because we sell tires. And people that use tires, where are they looking? Straight up.
Yeah, they're looking at the sky. I think it's good advertising because instead of dragging that big kite behind an airplane, vote for your local whatever, or when you're on the beach, you always see the plane going by and they're selling Ricky's Beach House,
lobster roll, $19.99,
right? Whatever it is. I think the blimp was a great idea. Good advertising. So I'm going with the blimp.
All right. Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris?
Bruce Lee all the way.
There you go.
No,
just don't let Chuck Norris hear you say that.
Look, I love Chuck Norris. He's the only guy that ever beat Bruce Lee, but I'm going with Bruce Lee. Sorry. This is not a charade.
Be like water, my friend.
Be like water.
Tom Brady or Big Papi?
Oh, bastard. Bastard. No, Brady's the GOAT.
He is.
I like Papi, though. Papi's the man. Personality-wise, I'm going with Papi.
This is our effing city.
Right? He still lives here in New England.
And he goes back and forth.
Yeah, to the Dominican
where he got shot.
Yeah, remember?
Almost killed.
Jeez, good Lord. Talk about evil.
All right, just a couple more here as we're running Low on time. Simpsons or Family Guy?
I like Family Guy. I like it
Me
better.
too. I'm a Peter Griffin guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Just saying. All right. Here's my last one. A hot dog bun or a hot dog roll? Do you know what I'm saying here?
I do.
Like if you go to the ballpark and get
Yeah.
a hot dog bun, it's like
Yeah.
a miniature loaf of bread.
But
But a hot dog roll, it's like sliced like bread. So you have sides that you can butter and
I like the roll because so the bun is like getting the heel of
Yeah.
the bread. You can only butter once, not even. Well,
right. You really can't
well,
butter
you
and toast
can't.
those well.
No, you can't. You can't. On the inside, you can.
But a roll.
But the hot dog roll, not only can you use it for hot dogs, you can use it for
Lobster
lobster rolls, clam
Tuna.
roll, whatever, and you can grill it. So I'm going with the roll.
A grilled roll with lobster salad in it. That's my jam right there.
My jam.
My jam.
It ain't jelly. It's a
It's
jam.
not really jam. It's lobster.
It's not my. We went to this restaurant called Delaney's up in North Conway.
Yeah.
They got a hell of a lobster roll. Let me tell you right now. You wouldn't think in the mountains, which is so remote from the ocean, but they make a hell of a lobster roll. So shout out to Delaney's in North Conway, New Hampshire.
Keep doing it.
Well, buddy Bob, unless you got something else, and it's only one person in there, and it's you.
I think that
Everybody abandoned us, but that's okay. We're trying to build up something here. So
we'll be back.
yeah, that's going to do it. We'll be back next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Wednesday, look out for Practical Nonsense with Buddy Bob and Jimbo.
There you go.
All right, thanks for joining me in the studio, and we'll get this camera and stuff, everything.
Awesome. Psyched to be here.
All right, smell you
See you later. So it's just
Hey, here we are. We're still here.